You're probably listening to this podcast because you want to grow your business. You're looking for a strategy that's actually working in 2025, ready to build your business plan for 2026. Today's guest, Kara Steele, doubled her business in 2025 and built a community-based mastermind that's fueling momentum. We're going to break down exactly how she did it, the tactical moves that you can use for your 2026 business plan, and how you can create something powerful in your community for 2026. So if you're ready, let's jump in right now. Kara, how you doing today?
I am amazing.
Are you?
Thank you.
That's awesome.
So good, so good.
So I want to jump into this because I think that there are people who are listening right now that are stuck, and you were able to grow your business in 2025. And, you know, usually when we talk about breakthrough moments, I'm very curious about kicking this off immediately into what was the moment that you decided that you needed to make a change in your business that fueled you to break through in 2025?
Honestly, I can think of one very specific moment where I had, thank you. I can think of one very specific moment when I was sitting in my office and a friend asked my son why he wanted to get into real estate. And he said some very kind words about me. And it hit me like, why am I showing up in a way where I don't feel worthy of things when he sees me in a completely different light?
Oh, that's pretty cool. What exactly, what did your son say that really resonated with you, that you thought, I have to show up differently because of this?
I have always shown up as it's a means of a way to like support and feed my family. And I never realized that he was looking at me as an example of hard work and like integrity. And he said, like, I want to do real estate because I see what my mom's doing and I see like how successful she is. And that was the moment I was like, oh, you see me as successful and I don't see me as that. I see me as surviving.
As surviving.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's what a lot of us, get sucked into is most people limit themselves from what they really can do because maybe they're paying their bills. Maybe they're making just enough to get by. Yeah. And then it's kind of like a rat race for them. But the question for you is, what was one of the biggest challenges that once you identified, okay, I have to be successful at this, right? I got to remove whatever barriers are holding me back. But what were some of the biggest challenges that you faced once you made that decision and you started going after business?
Well, I would say this, like the biggest challenge that I faced in like 2024 versus 2025 is 2024, I was completely like restarting my business over again.
Let's talk about that for a little bit,
okay.
Because I think that in itself is a crazy breakthrough moment. I mean, for someone who's listening, and I happen to know the story about mm-hmm. you, but when we first met, I think it was our first or second meeting that you said, well, I'm not just looking for a new job, I'm also starting a new life.
Yeah.
And I didn't really understand what that meant. And then you kind of explained it to me, but explain it to the audience. What did that mean exactly?
Yeah. So 2023, end of 2023, when I started at Loan Depot, I quit my job at my old company and asked for a divorce from my then manager at the same time. Knowing that when I did that, I was going to lose probably most of my business.
Okay, so you, just for context, I joke about, well, maybe it's not even a joke, but I'll say like you're divorcing your company.
Yeah.
Because that's what it feels like sometimes. It's such
mm-hmm.
an emotional decision to make a move from one company to the next, especially if you've been there for a long time. But you weren't just figuratively divorcing your company. You were literally divorcing your husband, who also happened to be your business partner, manager at the time.
The person who got me into the business.
The person who got you into this, you married.
Yep.
And then you worked with them and you were leaving. And so a lot of that business was tied to the individual?
Was tied to him. And
Yeah.
a lot of my referral partners were friends of him.
Okay.
Friends of his. And so I had to go around and tell my referral partners, not only was I leaving a company where they trusted the business I was doing, I was also leaving the person that had connected us.
So, okay, what is that like?
It was miserable.
Was it miserable?
It
Okay.
was miserable. It was embarrassing.
So when you make a move, right, to a new company, it's never like, I don't care how good the company is.
Yeah.
It's always hard because you're learning new systems. You're learning how to navigate a company. When a deal goes sideways, who do you call? Like, there's all these things that you got to figure out. What was that onboarding like for you? Like, and then also, like, you were taking over a failing branch at the same time.
Yeah.
So talk to us about all that.
I'm always up for a good challenge. We'll say that.
Yeah.
We'll say that. I mean, it was scary, and I didn't know if here's how I felt. I felt like I was on the top of a cliff, and I was running as fast as I could and jumping, and I didn't know if my wings were going to open or not. Sometimes still, I wonder if they're going to open, but yeah.
When did you, in the last year and a half or so, what has been a defining moment that you felt like, okay, I'm okay, it's going to be okay, my wings are open?
I said, I don't know if they're open yet.
Yeah.
But I would say probably, I would say maybe July of this year is when I finally was like, okay, I feel good, I feel comfortable, I feel confident where I'm at, and now I'm ready to take it to a different level. Yeah.
Most people who want to do what you're doing, and what that is you run a branch in Salt Lake City. We look to you to grow the market. And so a lot of people want that opportunity. They're thinking to themselves like, man, I can be a branch manager, and I can grow my business, and I can do two things at one time. And you've been able to not only take that branch that was failing, and really almost, it was already just about to operate underwater when you took it over. You've made it a very profitable branch. So you've been able to double your personal business while you're building a branch. What was the biggest challenge in that?
Oh, wow. The biggest challenge is, I mean, all of it. It's just one big challenge, right? It's mindset. I would say the biggest challenge is mindset, because it's not easy. It's not for the faint of heart.
Well, do you think most people should go out and build branches and help other loan officers? Okay. So, so what is hard about that? Because talk about, everybody always talks about how easy it is or how great they are. You've actually been through some of the worst situations in hiring people, learning they might not have been the right fit for you, right fit for the culture that you're building. And you've had to learn from that. Yeah. And now you have a different set of values when you go out to market on what you want to do. But what did you learn from that?
I learned a lot of things. I learned to trust my gut. I learned that people, when people show you their true colors up front, you should trust them. You know, that goes into trusting your gut. I learned that not everybody can be saved or helped or fixed. I learned probably the biggest thing is, more than learning about other people, is what I've learned about myself.
Well, let's talk about that, because you said a couple of things, right? We tend to want to fix people as leaders. And I always kind of joke, you and I talk a lot, and I've said to you, you can't rationalize the irrational. Yeah. Right? You want to fix it. You're like, why won't they just X, Y, Z? And I'm like, because they're not rational. They're not right. And there's a reason why you're in the leadership role and they're not. It's because you have to see things from all lenses, right? You have to walk in their shoes. You got to walk in your shoes. And then you got to figure out a way to connect with them and develop, because person A gets motivated differently than person B. And then when you add that complexity into a group of people, you're dealing with behaviors, not necessarily production. Yeah. And so, what did you learn about yourself in that process?
I learned that I learned that I need to give myself more credit than what I have been given myself. I feel like I do a lot for everybody else, and I have prioritized other people over myself.
Yeah. Okay.
And it's bitten me, you know? So.
Well, question for you. I mean, what's the payoff, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like for every hour that you'll spend coaching somebody that doesn't take your coaching, or
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean, that doesn't have the impact that you're trying to make it have, that you could be spending on your business, is it worth it? Number one. But two, is the payoff when somebody finally does well with the coaching you're giving them and, you know, takes off? Is that the payoff that you may have to work the 3 of the failures to get to the one good one, but is that enough of a payoff?
I think for the right person, it's enough of a payoff. And like, to go back to what the biggest thing I've learned is like, I have to be willing to only invest the amount of time into someone that they're willing to invest in themselves. You know?
I mean, you just wrote the playbook right there. Like, yeah, that's really it. You can't care more than they are.
I will show up for you 100% of the time, but if you can't show up for yourself, it doesn't matter.
That's it.
Yeah.
I love that. That's perfect. So in this process that you've been trying to get, you know, maybe I would call it stability, right? You come to a new company. The first step is just to get stable, like stabilize your business, figure out who's sending you business, understand the company, get a few deals through, and then you go into, all right, now it's time to go to market and build, right? When you started going, it started with your son, you hearing the story with your son and you making a change, got committed to it, overcame all the challenges, but what did doubling your business require of you? Like, and I think when I ask you this question, maybe you don't look at it as doubling your business, but what did 2025 require of Kara in order for her to have the result of looking at your numbers and saying, oh my gosh, I doubled what I did in 2024 in a equally difficult year?
Yeah. Well, you say stability when you have to get to a company and get stability. To me, I have to get to a company and I have to get trust. And so once I have that trust, I'm confident in going out and selling what I'm selling. Then I can go all in. But until that moment, I'm kind of on the fence, you know?
So what does that mean exactly? Like when you say trust, is it trust that you could throw a file in and it's going to move through the process? Is it that you trust that the people that you work with have your back? Is it, what does trust mean? Is it that you have the right underwriting standards that are important for you? Like what does that mean exactly for you and for what it meant for you going into 2025?
Trust is, it's all encompassing of that, but I think it comes down to like trusting the culture and the environment that you're in. Because if you're in an environment where loans do get closed and people do pick up the phone and people do jump in to assist, like that's all encompassing of trust. And I needed all of those pieces in place to be able to be like, okay, I'm actually in the right spot.
Good. Talk to us a little bit about that. I mean, what's been the culture like? And what's been the culture like to come to a company that you didn't really have any connection to, you know?
I knew nobody.
You knew nobody. We literally nobody. It's not like we had the best reputation in the market. I said, we were a failing branch. Yeah. And so you took a big risk to make this decision. How did we earn your trust?
It took a good 12 to 18 months to really feel like, okay, this is home. But it was through like little things. It was through the community that our region has built. It's been through like other branch managers reaching out to me and having conversations or even engaging on social media. I'm like, wow, people really care about other Loan Depot people. So I've met people outside of our region and I've became friends with them, which is very like different, right? And then just knowing I can pick up the phone and ask anyone from the bottom to the top for help, and then they're going to answer my question.
Well, so that's big, right? Like once you figured out how to navigate that, one thing you said to me one time is you were like, I think I tend to do this. Like, I don't ever want to overcommit. So you had a problem with a file one time and I was like, hey, I think we can get this done. But it's probably not going to close on time. Like I just needed to kind of cover all my bases. And you're like, you know what, Chris, it's going to close on time. And it did. And it was, and I was like, well, how do you know that? And you were like, cause I was like, I don't even know if I could do this, but you had trust is what I'm trying to say. Where did that come from exactly? Like, where did you believe in the system?
It's the little things that have compounded time, again and again. So it's from one person saying that they're doing what they say they're going to do to things actually coming to fruition.
Good. Okay. Yeah. So if somebody's listening and doesn't work at Loan Depot, which is completely good, that they don't, and that's fine. But it really is about trusting the system you're in. And so do you think you could have doubled your business if you didn't have the trust for the company or the people that you were working with or in the right culture?
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
And I wouldn't stay. I wouldn't have stayed either.
Okay.
If
well,
you
good,
want me to be honest.
Well, no, that's good. I mean, like I would expect that most people wouldn't stay with a company that they didn't trust or feel like could help them with their business. So you're very regimented, more regimented than anybody that I've ever met.
A little bit.
So let's talk about the routines for a second.
Okay.
What are some of the routines that you have in place that you think contributed to your ability to double your business?
Well, okay. So like business-wise, well, I think that it comes down to like always doing what I tell myself I'm going to do. And so when I do those things that I want to do personally, it translates over to my professional life too. So if I tell myself I'm going to show up every day at a certain time, or I'm going to make X number of calls or reach out to this many people, like it's just a commitment I keep to myself.
All right. So commitments are one of the routines that I'm hearing you say, but let's go a little bit deeper on that. Okay. So what do you do? Give me some very specific routines that you do today or that you did in 2025 that would help somebody listening to this show up differently, that would lead them to maybe double their business. What are some of the routines that you had in place?
Managing my pipeline better.
Okay.
And my database.
Okay, so those are two things that helped you. And I actually remember you telling me about how your database was one of these things that you would never even manage. So if somebody's listening right now that's saying, okay, what does that mean exactly to manage your database?
Yeah.
Break that down for me.
Yeah, so so when I got into the industry, I was lucky enough to have a mentor who helped me figure out how to close loans, right?
Yep.
Guidelines, all that.
Okay.
What I didn't have was someone who taught me the rest of it, the rest of managing the day-to-days of it. Okay. I can go get a loan, I can close a loan, but everything else in between is kind of chaos.
Okay.
And so having access to a database and having someone at Loan Depot help me set it up and showed me what they do and how easy it is. I mean, it's all about turning, talking to people and reviewing what you have and like just being active in what you already have in front of you. And it's a game changer.
All right, you're talking about two things, right? You talk about having a database that you can go to, and database, the way I think of your database is all past clients that have done business with you, right? And then there's your pipeline. And here's what I see people do, and I could be completely wrong as this relates to you because obviously you've done really well and doubled your business. But what most people do is they go and get a few deals in their pipeline, and then they want to just stay in their pipeline. They want to manage their pipeline. Yeah. They feel like they're busy. And I've even heard them say, well, I got to be in my pipeline. You don't have to be in your pipeline, right?
Yeah.
And so But then you said you switched it to, okay, you had some routines with your pipeline. I want to hear about that. But then how did you turn it over to say, okay, now I have to spend time in my database? And what were the actions that you took in both of those that helped you double your business?
Well, just the reports that I get, instead of having to like go and search out information, it's right in front of me every single morning. And
so you have somewhat of a dashboard in front of you. Okay.
Yeah. So I can just review that. It saves an hour and a half of my day. Yeah. And it gives me time to actually go into my database.
Okay, good. Okay, now you're in a database. What are you doing there?
I'm fishing.
You're fishing. What does that mean? Tell me.
Fishing. It means I'm looking for more loans.
How often do you do that?
I try to do it daily. It's hard being a branch manager and doing other things too, but I try to do that daily. And like the minute I feel like things are slow, I just start working it.
You start working
I start working it. And then it's kind of cyclical because I'll start working it and then all of a sudden I'm too busy and I'm like, oh, I can't keep up. But I'm learning and working through that process, but always in the database.
Okay, so you got a database process where you're going through and looking at your database. Now you've also created and established a routine on how you manage your pipeline. Then you created this mastermind. And I really want people to walk away with this playbook, because there's this idea that you could take people in your community and put them in a room, and there's some synergy that happens with sharing of ideas. We do this in the region, and I believe that bringing people together will make us stronger. It helps us get out of holes that we're in. It allows us to leverage, like, oh, I suck at this area, but this person's doing it better than me, so I'm going to call them and find out what they're doing. But then you took that idea and you took it to a local level, which isn't like a crazy new concept, but you did something really cool with this. So talk about that. Like, who is your audience? What were you looking to accomplish? And if somebody's listening that wants to implement your playbook on this, what are some things you would tell them? So let's talk about the community you've built.
Okay. So when I started, I was incredibly alone, right? I was isolated, and I didn't know a lot of loan officers from any other companies, because I think loan officers always stay within their own. They collaborate within their own companies. They don't speak with other loan officers. They feel like they're their competition. And I was like, well, I don't really have a whole lot of loan officers in my branch. I don't really know any other loan officers. Because I've been isolated under, where I was at. I'm like, I want to network and be with other loan officers, and us as loan officers don't want to talk to each other when we're in rooms with realtors. Yeah. And real estate agents.
Why do you think that is? Because it's competitive?
Competition? Yeah. I don't know. Competition, maybe like bad blood. I don't really know, and I don't understand it.
Okay. Yeah. So what are you like, I'm going to stop this. I'm going to stop the madness with this.
I think it's madness for sure. And so my goal was to create a room with loan officers who don't mind sharing their secrets or their success stories, and helping loan officers at other companies be successful as well. And what I've realized was most loan officers feel the isolation, and they want to be in rooms with other loan officers who do good things, who do good business, or, they're really good at podcasting or whatever it may be, like social media, like all of them have a little bit different of a niche, but they're all willing to share with each other, and they're surprised by it. They're like, oh, you're willing to like sit down and go with me? I think the last one we were at, we were all talking about going in and supporting a loan officer at his broker open because he was afraid nobody was going to show up. And he's like, you'd really show up? I was like, why wouldn't we show up? He's like, I don't know, because I'm the lender there that's going to get the business. Like, and? Like,
yeah, we got your back.
Yeah, we have your back. Why not?
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So tell me about the mastermind itself. Like, what's the name of it, first off?
It's the Inner Circle After Dark.
Okay. And so in Salt Lake City.
In Salt Lake, yeah.
And when you were thinking about, when you were kind of framing this up and had this idea in your mind, what did you envision for it? Like what did the room look like? What was the ideal around it?
My idea around it was a bunch of loan officers, successful loan officers, coming together and breaking bread and having conversations that can improve our lives, improve business, improve, just make us better people.
Did you end up with that?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. It's growing. I feel like there are still a few people that I would love to get in the room, but I enjoy everybody that comes. And I think we all have a very unique perspective on the business, and we all have something to learn from each other.
So when you put this thing together, how much volume do you think? Have you ever done the numbers of like you get everybody in a room?
Yeah.
What is it like?
I think the first one we had, that was the one I was like, okay, I've got to figure this out. And I think at that time it was like 400 million.
Yeah, you got 400 million. Okay, so think about this, those of you that are listening. You're looking to network and get your name out there and collaborate with other loan officers because you don't think that the people that in this market collaborate nearly enough. And so then you went and put together an event that you could bring people around a table to break bread, and you ended up getting $400 million worth of volume at one table to break bread.
Yeah.
And so that's pretty, congratulations,
Thank
by the
you.
way. And what has that done for you? Like, I mean, what do you get out of it?
Oh, so much. It's kind of selfish, I guess, but like I want to be in rooms with people who do better than me.
Okay.
And these people do better than me. So it's about proximity.
But you do massive production.
Yeah, but these people are amazing.
Yeah.
And I want to be in rooms with them.
Good.
So if they're not going to invite me to their room, I'm going to build my own damn room.
All right. So that's pretty good. It's funny you say that because in 2021 or 2022, I did I wanted to be on stage so bad that I created an event for speakers to come out and be on stage just so that I can say the opening remarks with a microphone in my hand and be on stage. Like I created this event just so that I can have that one small moment.
Your moment.
And because no one was inviting me to be on stage, I was like, well, then I'll just do it myself, And so that's exactly what you're like, I'm not being invited, so I'll just create it myself. And so do you think that's contributed to your brand in the marketplace? Do you think people look at you differently or know? Like, what do you think that's done for you in the marketplace? Not just from the way you look at yourself, but from how the market's looking at you.
I do. I don't know that it I don't think it does anything different as far as my production goes. I think that people look at me as more of a collaborator. They look at me as more of a resource and more of a friend versus competitor. So will they pick up a phone and call if they're having a problem with a loan? Yeah. Will they pick up the phone and call if they want to grab lunch with someone without feeling like they have to pay for them and try to get their business with a real estate agent?
Yep.
And I've met some really good friends.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
So you look at this opportunity of bringing people together. It's changed your brand in the marketplace. I think that people are trusting you more to the perspective of they're actually calling you and asking you like, hey, what would you do on this loan? And how would you put it together differently? That's actually pretty cool because if you're trying to build a branch, you want these people to know you so that if anything goes wrong at the company they're in, they're obviously going to come to you. But do you look at it as a recruiting perspective or
no way.
Okay.
I think people feel like maybe that's what the initiative is, but no, I don't. Didn't
somebody ask you that? Like, is this really a recruiting thing?
I'm like, I'm not. Have you seen me? I'm not a recruiter, bro.
Yeah.
But no, I think at the end of the day, the people that are in the room and stay in the room are people that I would love to work with someday.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm not going to aggressively go after them, but I would love to be the first call if they weren't happy where they were at. And solely for the fact that they would see like she loves where she's at, there's got to be more to it. Yeah.
I love that. Well, then let me ask this. So if somebody was going to go out there and build this today,
Mm-hmm.
is it a lot of work?
Oh my gosh. It's a lot of work. Yeah.
What gives you anxiety about doing the mastermind?
So much. It's getting better. It's more or less like trying to get people in a room is incredibly difficult, and then continuing to remind them. I think you have to invite probably, I don't know, 50% more than the people that you actually want in the room, because 50% ignore, or like between it being ignored or canceling last minute, like 50%, that's 50% of them.
Okay.
And so you have to double down and ask and ask and ask and then ask again.
So, yes, right.
And I get rejected a lot.
You're getting rejected to say, hey, come to a room that you're going to learn from other people.
And get free food.
And get free food. Yeah. And it's a nice dinner, right? Mm-hmm. Like, is that one of the things that was important to you, that you put them in a nice room?
Yeah.
And so, so if you were giving somebody advice, what advice would you give somebody?
About starting a mastermind?
Yeah.
Oh, I would say keep asking.
Yeah.
Yeah. Keep asking until, like, be relentless.
Well, let's start from the beginning. So you decided to have a mastermind. You put a name to it, the Inner Circle. Then you had a vision of people around the table breaking bread, and then you had to find the right people. How did you pick the right people to be in the room?
A little bit of research, a lot of social media.
Yep.
And just like the vibe I got from them when meeting with them in person, I was like, okay, you fit my culture, you fit my morals.
Who's not invited to the room?
I have no names.
Well, not names, but what's the type you don't want in the room?
I don't want people who are. Let me think about this so I can say it in a politically correct way.
It doesn't have to be politically correct.
I want people who aren't full of themselves.
Okay.
And are there for a bigger purpose.
There you go.
Not selfishly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the best way to put it.
Contribute.
I think that's the best way. We've thrown around names, and we've literally been like, probably not the right person for the room. There's going to be an ulterior motive to come in. And we've, as we've talked it through, and as I've listened to you talk it through, you really hold your values of what you want in the room very sacred. In fact, to the point that, like, I think you moved locations because it wasn't the right fit for you from an energy perspective. It just didn't sit well. And you've made it better and better over time. And I've had a chance to be at these, so I can speak to it. I love it. What's another thing so you get the right people in the room, right? You got to stay on them, make sure that people are coming, and it's growing over time. Is there anything else that you learned about putting a mastermind together that maybe you didn't think of before that you wish you knew now?
That I didn't think of before? I would say the only thing I could say would be I wish I would have done it sooner.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's as much of hard work that I see you put into it. Are you glad you did it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, good. Should people do this in their communities?
If they want collaboration and they want to, be in rooms with people who want to be successful too. Yeah, absolutely.
Good. Should they do it with all of their partners, or is this more of an LO thing, or could you reach out across the spectrum and say, I'm going to get realtors, or I'm going to do, what would your advice be if you're putting one of these together?
I think it depends on what your goal is. My goal was to have a room free of real estate agents, solely for loan officers, because real estate agents have their own space and loan officers don't, for the most part. So it was, that was my goal, is to bring loan officers together. So depends on what you're looking for.
How often are you doing this?
Usually monthly.
Monthly?
I try.
Is it a lunch, dinner?
Dinner.
Dinner.
Yeah.
And where do you have it at?
I have it at an Italian restaurant.
What's it called?
I probably will slaughter the name if you want me to be honest.
What is the name of the place?
I call it Skelto, but I think I'm pronouncing it wrong.
Okay. I just go with Skelto.
I go with that too. But,
all right, good. All right.
But
so
they say
Skelto.
something different.
I should have asked the owner. She came out that time. I should have asked, how do you pronounce it?
What's your name? Say the name.
So, okay. Going back to, if you're listening, also, if you're listening to this, if somebody wants to reach out to you, is like, Kara, I want to do one of these. Mm-hmm. Are you cool helping people build one of these?
Yeah.
Okay. So, and I think we talked about actually building a playbook around this anyway. So, could people reach out to you and get advice around building one of these if they wanted to? And if so, where do they find you?
They find me on social media.
Where? At
Loans Made of Steel.
On which platform?
Instagram.
Instagram is your best platform. So just DM you on Instagram?
DM me on Instagram.
Okay, good. And then bringing this kind of full circle for you, I've had an opportunity to sit in front row and watching your leadership grow. What does your leadership look like now versus what it was a year ago?
So a year ago, I would have said I would be more of a director versus like giving directive, like do this. Now I would say I would be more of a leader. So what
is the difference in your opinion?
And the difference in my opinion is I'm leading by example. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm showing you.
There you go.
Yeah.
Do you think culturally that's who we are as a company?
100%.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I was curious about that because one of my traits in leadership is that I'll never ask you to do something I'm not willing to do. Mm-hmm. And so a lot of times I got to do it first before I even say it, right? And it's like, that actually slows down a lot of process because I'm like, I would like to just say, go do this, but I can't ask you to do that if I've never done it, right? I can't say, go do a mastermind if I've never done a mastermind. Yeah. I can't tell you to get on social media if I've never done social media. Mm-hmm. So I think as a leader, I think it's a really good trait to have. I think that's pretty amazing. For branch managers that are stuck, they're usually stuck between serving two masters. Am I going to be a branch manager who is going to produce so that I know the market and I understand it just like my people do, and we coexist together, and I'm the leader so I can help them get their deals done? And then there's branch managers who they just don't know which route to go, so they're just completely stuck. They're stuck in low performance, and they're stuck because they don't know how to recruit. Yeah. And you've kind of had a taste of all of it. So what advice do you give a branch manager who is trying to do what you do and do both?
And do both? Pray. No, I don't. I mean, you have to, it's hard, right? Because it's a lot of work, and I have to remember what is most important in that day and time. And it's really, really easy to get stuck in my own production and take away from trying to grow my branch. And I use that, I've used that as an excuse not to go and build my branch. And then I've also seen it the other way where I don't really feel like producing today. So I'm just going to go and, see who's out there. And
lean in on your team a little bit.
Yeah. And so it's I just really have to figure out what, is most important and find a balance between the both. Yeah. And honestly, having goals for each of those has helped me stay in a bigger balance.
Okay. Yeah. Amazing. I love it. What's one belief that you've had that's helped you grow at times of uncertainty? And we're in probably one of the most uncertain markets ever.
Oh, can you ask that question again?
What is something that you've leaned in, a belief of yours that you've leaned in when times were uncertain that's helped you grow?
So I'll go with this. I do cold plunges all the time,
Okay.
right? And I used to get into them like slowly easing my way in, like maybe foot or like toe, and like just like slowly emerge myself. And not that long ago, maybe 6 months ago, 7 months ago, I was listening to Tony Robbins. Like, he was on a podcast and he was talking about how he does cold plunges, and he basically just gets in without negotiating. Like, it's not negotiable. And so now every time I do that and get in, like, I don't hesitate. Like, stop hesitating. That's his other thing, is like, stop hesitating. And so I've tried to take that and apply that to everything that I'm doing. And that's kind of my mindset now, is like, stop hesitating. Because when I personally hesitate and hem and haw and stuff, I find an excuse not to do it.
Absolutely. Doesn't everybody?
So I just
right?
jump in.
So you just jump in. So was today one of those moments?
Yes.
Coming on this podcast?
Yes.
What made you nervous about it?
All of it.
Okay.
This,
Yeah.
that, Fabio.
Yeah.
No, all of it.
All
Yeah.
right. Well, you did incredibly well. And you seem very at ease. So can we jam on a few other things that
Sure.
I didn't prep you for?
Oh, great. This is going to be wonderful.
Yeah. So, first off, thank you, by the way, for doing that. What's one thing that you learned leading people that you wish you knew before you led people?
Not all people respond. Like, not all people can be led the exact same way, I guess. I should have learned this through like raising children too, and how I've had to, raise them all very differently, but I expected people to respond the exact same, and I'm learning that everybody is very different. And what one person can take as praise, another person can take as a put down. And so I think I would be a little more in tune with that.
Interesting.
Yeah.
You're what most people, and you don't talk about this a lot, but most people don't realize that you are a single mom, 4 children. How does that play into your drive in your success?
Oh, I mean, that's 100% plays into my drive and success. I would say I've always been very, very driven, even before children. But I'm the sole person that they rely on. Even though most of them are grown now, like, I'm all that they have. And so for one, it's a financial thing, and it isn't a financial thing. It's more or less like I want to show them that they're capable of doing anything that they want to do. And even if it's hard, or even if the odds are against them, that, like, if they keep going, that they can do anything they want. So.
You have dreams. Did you dream of being in mortgage?
Oh my gosh. Does anybody
know?
Does anybody dream of being in mortgage? No, I never dreamed of being in mortgage. I can see how I ended up here. It was like somebody else's dream for me. But no, I never dreamed of being in mortgage. I'm incredibly grateful to be here.
Well, I think you approach it as that, but when you look at the industry and you look at somebody who's come, like, if somebody who's listening to this that maybe not be in mortgage or maybe wants to make this career, what do you like about it? What is the one thing that resonates with you around this business?
Oh, I can't choose one thing. There are so many things. I love that I'm able to help people. I mean, I didn't have a home, like I didn't own a home for so many years with kids, and renting sucked. That's like one small piece of it, but like you get out of this business what you put into it. So you can work a little bit and you can make a little bit of money, or you can go all in and you can make more money than you've ever made in your life.
Are you making a lot of money now?
It's relative.
Yeah. But you feel good? Do you feel like you're in a good place?
I'm never going to say that I'm in a good place.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like I always have the mindset that I can do better.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. What is the next iteration for you? So 2024, you were building trust. 2025, you doubled your business. What is 2026 for you?
2026 would be more around, like, yes, obviously I want to continue to increase my business, but also I would love to double or triple my branch.
Double and triple, like the number of people?
The number of people.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about you, Kara? Like, what is next for you personally? Like, you have dreams. What is being in mortgage and the personal brand that you're building give you leverage of things that you would want to do that are outside of mortgage? What's the next iteration of you?
That I want to do outside of mortgage?
Yeah.
Like just for fun?
Fun, your brand, your business. You know, what is it that really drives you that you can leverage that personal brand and really build upon?
That's a big question. So
we're asking it on the podcast because you can manifest it here.
I can manifest away. Well, okay, so there's a few things that I want to do. It is more or less, I have a few hurdles to jump through.
Well, let's talk about don't worry about the hurdles. What is it that you want to accomplish in 2026?
In 2026? Okay, so I have been putting it off for a couple of years. So my goal was to start a podcast.
Okay.
Also, I have been putting off running a 50 miler.
Okay.
And I keep putting that on the back burner because I don't have time. But the reality is I kind of do have the time to do that now. And then I just want to, there's so many things I want to do. I can't name them all.
So if 2026 ends and you have a thriving podcast and you run a 50 miler, that's a successful year for you?
There's more, but
those two things, if you can accomplish those, would you consider that?
I'd be satisfied.
All right. So what's the name of your podcast? And let's put it out there today.
No, thank you.
Well, Kara, first off, thank you so much. You have been an incredible addition to our company, but more importantly, like the fact that you're sharing your playbook and you're willing to help people. A lot of times when we do the podcast, there will be people that will reach out to you because something you said resonates with them. But there's so many listeners who are stuck and they're looking for somebody to help them get unstuck. And the fact that you're willing to do it, find her and follow her on @Loans Made of Steel.
Loans Made of Steel.
Loans Made of Steel. On with STEEL. No E, right? Okay, yeah. Loans Made of Steel on Instagram. Follow her, DM her. But thank you. This was really good, and I'm excited to see where you take it. I want to hear your podcast. I want to be a guest on your podcast, and
maybe.
And we want to cheer you on as you run 50 miles.
Throw me water.
Yes.
Throw me a Gatorade.
Yes. Thank you.